Welcome everybody to my living room tutorial, and I'm Callie Rose. We're going to talk today about strum patterns that you can use when you're playing really fast songs so that when you're done, you're not like totally exhausted. And I'm bringing some of the experiences I have as a piano player and a guitar player over to the ukulele. It's taken actually quite a long time to come up with these ideas, get them under my fingers, but I want to share them with you today. And we're using a song that I wrote as a template. It's called This Morning Something Wonderful Happened to Me. I woke up, yay. You woke up, yay. And we get another day to play the ukulele. So this song is in 4/4 time, and it's a fast shuffle. Boom, chugga, boom, chugga, boom, chugga, boom, chugga. So let's do it. So for me, the most basic strum pattern is to strum down on the beat. We're in 4/4 time, so that means there are 4 beats in a measure, and a measure is a small piece of time and space in a song. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we don't go 5, 6, 7, 8 like a dancer. We repeat 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm making a C, little C with my left hand, and I'm using my fingernails. I want to get more of an edge in this song. So I'm just strumming down on the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now you notice I'm coming from my elbow. My wrist is not doing a flippy flop here. And this is the way my fingers appear. I think of an airplane coming in for a landing. My fingers are very bent. They're not out like this. They're bent so that I'm coming down and hitting this part of the nail like that. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. I also rest my thumb on the side of my index finger so it's not doing curly cues here on its own. So my body parts are connected. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. You can play pretty fast, you know. Sometimes late at night when I'm laying in bed, like that. Now, if we want to double the energy, what we can do is go down and up on a beat. Now, when I do that, I'm just pivoting my fingers. In this case, I'm using my index and my middle fingers. You can use all of them. You can use one of them. You can use 3 of them. But when I come up, I am coming up with the flesh of my index finger. So it looks like this. Because why the index finger? Because it's the first in line to come up. Just a little pivot and then back into this tighter position. So it's 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 basic ways to be able to play a fast song. But what if we do something a little different? Instead of doing 2 things, 2 movements on a beat, I'm going to do 3. It's going to have a triplet kind of feel. This is what it looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's break that down. I am tapping the G string. You can use the verb graze, flick, tickle, touch. I am flipping my wrist a little bit because I want to catch that G string and not the other strings. You can see I'm getting a little bit of the C. That's okay. C string, but that's okay. And this just takes some wood shedding. The action is as you can hear, sometimes I run my nails across the top of my ukulele and I'm coming up to catch that G string. I'm flicking it almost like like that. And then I'm doing a down up on one beat. So here goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just take some wood shedding to get this one down, but boy, there are so many songs you can use this technique with. So now we're going to bring the thumb to the party. Let me show you what this looks like. So let's unpack this. I'm making a C with my left hand, just keeping it there. And the movement that you want to work on is catching that G string with your thumb. Now I've moved over the sound hole because this is a form of finger picking. It's a little harder to do it over here. I like the feeling of being over the deep end of the pool here. And I am making contact with the wood and the ukulele with my thumb and coming up and catching that G. So I would work just on this first. There's a lot of elbow stuff here. The wrist is not doing this. It's like I'm just catching the thumb. Now once that feels comfortable to you, then try using your index and your middle finger, or maybe all the fingers, to strum down. So it would be like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm flicking. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's try it again. 2, 3, 4. Now you can see that you can really pick up speed with this technique. Try to strum over all 4 strings so you get the fullest sound, and always practice in tempo so you reinforce your sense of rhythm. Now, building on this technique, how can we double the energy? Let me show you. What am I doing? Catching with my thumb, I'm going down. The difference here is now I'm coming up again, and I'm using my index finger to come up because, again, it's the first one in line, so I'm going to use it. So let me show you slowly. So here's the most basic one, just down, and here it is down up. And again, you can see how fast you can go, and we get a boom, chaka boom, chaka boom, chaka boom. The ukulele really becomes a marvelously percussive instrument in this technique. When I was playing guitar, I would use a lot of alternating thumb finger picking technique that looks like this on the ukulele. So let's talk about what's going on here. The thumb, instead of just taking care of one string, is actually going to play 2 strings. And it would be your G string and your C string back and forth. So depending on which string you start on, I don't know, you decide. You can start on the C, you can start on the G. Depends on the chord, depends on the song. So let's just start on the G, make it easy. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would suggest you work on that part first before introducing the rest of the technique into your practice. Just get this down. You might have to do it hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times to get it under your fingers. Now the thing we're going to add after this is a pick on the G string and then down. G string, C string, G string, C string. I'm going to really slow it down because, boy, to learn this thing you have to play it so slowly at first. See, so I switched from C to G. Now I'll switch, now I'll do G, C, and to double the energy, what do? We do an upward strum as well. So let me show you. I'm going to go pick that G, and I'm going to go down, up. And again, I'm coming up with that index finger. I'm going to catch the C string, G string, C string. The faster I go, it's like my movements get smaller and smaller, and I have to lighten my touch. I don't want to play too heavy because my fingers get stuck in the strings. You don't want that. Like so. A good way to practice is to go slow and then a little faster, a little slower, a little faster. I want to show you one last technique that I use a lot when I'm playing fast songs, especially in a shuffle beat. And this is what it looks like. Okay, so now what's going on? Two parts to each beat, two things that are happening. The first part is the thumb is catching just one string this time, the G string, like that. Now the second part of this technique is kind of like a flicking movement with all four fingers. At least that's the way that I play it. I call this a mute strum. Other people in ukulele land might call it a chuck or a chunk. And it's this. So I'm flicking all four fingers across all four strings, getting 16 tones. That's a lot. But then I'm immediately muting the sound with the fleshy part of my palm. So slowly it looks like this. So let's review the strum patterns that we talked about. The most basic is just a downward strum with the fingernails on the beat. So it would be 1, 2, 3, 4. If we want to double the energy, we will add an upward strum on the beat. So it will look like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we introduced a triplet feeling strum pattern where we're still using our fingernails and just catching, tapping that G string and then going down, up on each beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. By the way, I get a lot of tapping because I have acrylic nails. I love my acrylic nails. So that's the price I pay for having these hard nails. So then we brought in the thumb. So we just catch that G string and then strum down on each beat. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. How do we double the energy? Add an upward strum. So watch this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Aha. Then we introduce the alternating thumb technique where the thumb is going between the G string and the C string. So it's G, C, G, C. I'm strumming it down with my index and my middle finger. So we get kind of a bass sound, alternating bass, which you can really hear with a low G tuning, which is what I have. But if you have the reentrant tuning, you're just going to have a different flavor. It's still really a nifty, nifty technique. And how do we double the energy? We come back up. And then I showed you a mute strum technique where I'm catching the G string with my thumb and then muting the strings, strumming down but then muting them. Like that, yeah. When I'm doing a song, I like to totally mix it up. I may not play the same song the same way twice because it just keeps it fun and interesting for me, and the audience doesn't know what to expect as well. And so you might want to experiment and see if that works for you. I want to thank all of you for tuning in and watching this tutorial. And if you like my song, this morning something wonderful happened to me. I woke up. It's on my CD. Here it is. It's called Smile, Smile, Smile. I'm going to bring it in closer. These are all original songs. Great feet, huh? They are not my feet, but close enough. And the CD or the individual songs are all available in the online stores like Amazon and iTunes and CD Baby. Thank you again, and happy strumming to you all.